in the West. So any engineer can tell you this specification is much more onerous. $10,000 for a prosthetic in the United States, and I'll show you how they do it here. Much better quality, and then you can decide how much you'll pay. And for those of you who are mechanical engineers, it's a complicated thing. Foot is a complicated thing. And I won't go into all the specifications. The only thing I want to say is poor people cannot wait for 5 days. They have to have it fitted every day, in 1 day, and you have to do it in 1 day. And you don't even have doctors, you have to use paramedics. So let's see how they do it.
Jaipur foot pieces are prefabricated. The process is fast and simple, though largely manual. Foot and ankle assembly is made of vulcanized rubber compound. Individual components are painted with rubber cement. Various toe and foot pieces are assembled together into one unit. Aluminium die is used to cast a normal foot shape. Sole-shaped patterns are placed on nylon cords used for reinforcement. This unit is then covered with skin-colored cosmetic rubber. Die is tightened and placed in vulcanizer. After 20 minutes, foot is removed and is ready for use.
But that is below the about the cylinder.
How much would you folks pay? First is given free, and we check the cost is $25. $10,000 in the United States, $25 in India, better functionality. This is the American foot. For $10,000 you get this. It's a good foot, but it's not the same. It doesn't look like a normal foot. And if you're wearing a sari or any dress which comes up to your foot and you paint your toenails, nobody knows that you have it. And I could have very easily shown a very famous dancer using Jaipur foot. But that's not the point. We are talking about ordinary people. Why show a very famous star? I want to show ordinary people can benefit, so can the star. If you can do Bhattanatyam with this foot, that means it is good stuff. And all of you know how complex Bhattanatyam is. The reason I'm saying it is they're the world's largest. They do 16,000. There is nobody else close enough. Arvind Eye Care does 250,000 cataract surgeries. There is not even anybody close enough. Forget about beating them. And Narayana Hridayalaya does 7,500 cardiac surgeries per year, $1,500 compared to $200,000 in the West. And of course, you have 200x advantage, 100x advantage over the West, and you can see why wellness tourism is going to be the big deal. The reason is you focus on poor people, do it commercially through innovation is going to be huge. Now, I know some of you are going to say, this is all nice about consumption. Let me talk about being micro-producers. How do you create micro-producers? How do you connect the rural poor to global markets? How many of you think you can build a global company with this woman with 2 buffaloes and 3 kids? You can't if you organize her. That's called Amul. Amul has been around for 50 years. I don't know how much Amul gets into the discussion in New Delhi on how to connect rural farmers with global markets. Because if you do that, Amul today processes 6.4 million kilograms of milk per day, 2.2 million farmers are organized, 10,755 villages, 3,000 collection centers. It's a $1 billion business. It's the world's largest dairy. Not second largest, it is the largest. And India today has the cheapest raw milk. Not processed milk, but raw milk. Not cheese, but raw milk. And I can buy them in the United States. I like to pose the question, so what's wrong with this picture? Now if you say I don't like milk, that's okay. I'll give you, this is my last case study. This is ITC Chopal. I studied it as it was being implemented many years ago, 5 years ago. One PC per village, connected to the internet, farmer as the custodian or the sanchalaks. Now today, 2 million farmers are connected. I want you to listen to what the farmers are saying. These are the so-called subsistence illiterate farmers. That's the way we describe them. They need help from us. Just listen to them. They've never seen a typewriter in their life.
जिस समय पहले दिन यहाँ पे कंप्यूटर लगाने वाले इंजीनियर आए तो हमें ये माउस पकड़ना भी नहीं आता था। हम लोग समझते भी नहीं थे कि हमारे कंप्यूटर पे भी कोई हिंदी का भी कोई काम हो सकता है। अच्छी तरह समझने में 3 महीने तो कम से कम मुझे इसमें लगे। अगर आप लोग की चौपाल बंद कर दें तो हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हमें अपना खुद का पीसी खरीद के और नेट कनेक्टिविटी करनी होगी।
मैं जो है मैक्सिमम टाइम मेरा एक तो कीबोर्ड की रिपोर्ट देखता हूँ, एग्रीवाच का कुछ किसान, ये शिकागो बोर्ड ऑफ ट्रेड जो है डेली देखने से उसका एक आइडिया मालूम पड़ता है फ्यूचर ट्रेंड क्या हो सकता है मार्केट का, और उस हिसाब से मैंने यहाँ के किसानों को सजेशन भी दिए हैं और उससे बेनिफिट भी मिला है। ये किसान है, ये अपना माल 1000 में बेचने के लिए तैयार थे, इनको रोक दिया हमने कि ये अभी माल अभी बेचना नहीं अपने को, वही माल इनका 1300 रुपये में बिका कुछ दिनों बाद ही। मैंने पीपल रवा में कम से कम 10 लाख रुपए का बेनिफिट करवाया है केवल सजेशन देके।
अरे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर की बात करता खासकर हमारे यहाँ बैठा हुआ। हाँ, हमने शिकागो में ये भाव देखा, हमने भोपाल में भैया ये सोयाबीन इतना तेज हो रहा है, हम तो आज ही बेचा 4 दिन बाद बेचा। आप मजाक नहीं कर रहा हूँ।
You can see the only people who are upset are the middlemen. And these people were quite serious. In fact, I got an email from one of them saying, we hear there is a great market for organic food in the United States. We can grow organic food. Can you build a distribution system for us? These are farmers who didn't know anything about computers. 6 months later, they're sending emails and also asking me to build a distribution system. So we asked them, why do you check the Chicago Board of Trade? He told me, you're the educated one, you should know. I did not know. Then I realized a lot of India's soybean is exported. Therefore, the prices are dependent on what happens in Chicago. These guys figured this out. So all that I'm saying is, if you remove the asymmetry of information, that's what the PC did. You remove the asymmetry of choice, asymmetry of capacity to enforce contracts. Now this person, this farmer can enforce the contract on ITC. ITC can also enforce the contract that reduces the transaction costs and improves governance in relationships. And therefore, you eliminate the asymmetry of dignity and self-esteem between the poor and the rich. In other words, we have to start looking at these examples because either Amul or ITC did not disturb the village. Decentralized origination, village collection centers in Amul, village collection centers called Chopal and Sagar now, highly decentralized payment systems, but world-class processing and marketing facilities, very different way of building world-scale operations, not having so many people in one location. So the question I like to ask you is, should we depend only on the West, on the top of the pyramid to build innovations? Can bottom of the pyramid build innovations for the top as well? So just last few slides, make the globalization benefit all, democratize commerce. Market at BOP is very large, it's $5 trillion in purchasing power parity, but it is complex, it requires breakthrough innovations, and if you can do it, I think there is a global market available for you. I think the real issue is not resources, it's thinking. We have to change the way we think. Globalization is not bad for the poor, it can benefit all. Multilateral